right. Yay! It worked. Hooray. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's Paideia in the Know. So excited to have the lovely Ashley Proud with us. She is the best. She is a long-time LA broadcast PR Wonder
Not
Woman.
too long.
Not too long. Not too long. I promise. All right. So let's just jump right in. We have a lot to get to today. So much good info. So Ashley, you've been in LA forever. Well, not forever, but for a while. And you've done broadcast PR for a long time. And it's really been, like, you've had such an amazing career. You've worked with such incredible companies, incredible personalities, and you recently started your own company. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And just for our viewers out there, can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing and a little bit about what you're working on?
Definitely. So I've been really lucky to work with some of the best brands in the business, from Disney to Dr. Pimple Popper, but some of my proudest moments have been really helping emerging smaller brands tell their stories on a national level. One of my favorite examples was a client of mine who started making stationery out of her home. I landed her a 3-minute profile on her and her business on the Today Show, which was major, and in PR speak, that's like the equivalent of like an A++. And we flew out together for it, and it was just such a celebratory moment, and that was where, I really started to see the power of national broadcast. So currently, I'm consulting on my own. I have a really nicely curated lineup of beauty and fashion brands, and still flexing that TV muscle every day.
So good. Well, I do feel like the perceived holy grail of PR placement is a spot on a national television show.
Definitely.
And we will call that show the Today Show.
Okay, love that.
It is pretty much what everyone's goal is. So can you tell me why in the digital age that TV is such an important part of the PR landscape even now?
Definitely. The simplest way to answer that is it's an ideal captive audience. So you are reaching millions and millions of eyeballs, and unlike on a website, they don't have the opportunity to scroll through or click away from the content that you're giving them. And think of all the places that, broadcast television: waiting rooms, airports, bars, airport lounges. So you're really reaching a variety of a demographic, not only with age range, but socioeconomic backgrounds. I also think that TV is still such a badge of honor and a real mark of cachet from a retail standpoint. Big box retailers like your Sephora, Target, Ulta, they're going to want to see a brand that plays well on TV, because during gift guide season, they know that you'll have a larger social footprint and on-air footprint.
Perfect. So it's a long road to the Today Show. You don't just wake up and immediately get there.
Why not?
It's just not how that goes. So can you tell us a little bit more about the traditional journey to get to a national broadcast?
The first thing I always say is take the time to actually watch a national morning show. I'm always amazed by the number of clients and brands that I work with that have never watched Good Morning America or the Today Show. So make sure you do that. Understand how the shows map out their content. It's typically multiple hours. The top of the show will be more hard-hitting national news, and then towards the end of the show, you'll see more lifestyle content. If you're a product, get to know the on-air experts that frequent these programs. There's always a beauty girl, there's always a fashion expert, a tech expert, a sports expert. Get to know those people and get your product in front of them. And by all means, please send them a full-sized, nice product with a well-written printout on what your brand is and what it stands for, so you're not lost in the shuffle. If you are a person who's looking to get on television, you absolutely need a link to tape. So that is, a previous live TV experience. A national news booker will always ask you for that. And really make sure that you're owning your niche, and that, your message and what you want to say isn't lost in the shuffle.
Perfect. I think like what you said a moment ago, that you really have to build your way up there. You don't just show up and be on national television.
Everyone would do it.
So, right. So can you tell me a little bit more about the best way for someone to kind of get their foot in the door, and how do you start to build more on-air experience so that you can even be considered by a national show?
Definitely. I think local news is really powerful. Again, take the time to actually watch Good Day LA or Pix 11 New York. Understand, the tone and the content that they put forward. And then, again, in this digital age, you can find a lot of these producer and on-air experts information on social media. I hate to say that as a publicist, but it's true. You can get it. It's out there. And get creative with your pitch and your angle, and make sure that the content that you're pitching them is not only relative and newsworthy from a national standpoint, but also plays well to their local audience. You would never pitch a swimwear roundup during a polar vortex in Chicago, would you? Probably not. You'd be surprised. So make sure that the message that you're sending is going to really resonate well with their viewership, because that's what they're looking for.
Totally. Okay, so you booked a segment, which is great, A+. How do you prepare your clients to be on TV, and what are some of those key takeaways that our viewers can do to help prepare for themselves?
Definitely. It's really just about careful prep and planning. Make sure that you write out your talking points, and make sure that you're able to say a paragraph's worth of information in 2 or 3 really punchy sentences, and then practice. Practice in front of a mirror, practice in front of your friends. Make sure that you're catching the different tics that you have. Whenever I have media trained clients, they're always shocked to see how they look on camera, because we all do different things with our face and our body.
True.
So make sure that you're mapping those things out and dressing them before you actually get to the studio, so that you feel prepared and you're presenting the best version of yourself.
Yeah. So it's the day of your big segment. So excited.
Yay!
What are some key courtesy housekeeping elements that you always prep your clients to do so that they make the best possible impression while they're there on set?
Definitely. I think the first step is to arrive camera ready. If you are a female, make sure that your hair and makeup is done and on point. If you are a male, make sure you actually take the time to groom yourself and do your hair, because it does matter. You can even hear little things like flyaways are really amplified on camera, and that's something that you don't want to be worried about when you get there. Make sure you arrive early. I always say at least 15 to 20 minutes early. Give yourself time to get a lay of the land. Give yourself time to park. If you're setting up a table display, give yourself time to load and unload. You never know if your segment's going to be pushed up in the 11th hour, and you don't want to be scrambling for setup, because that's just going to make you more nervous. And then when you're there and you're on set, just be respectful. Make sure that your phone is on silent. Make sure that you're out of the way from the production staff, and bring the energy.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I was a producer for a number of years. That's actually how we met.
Yes.
But I would say that's key. Like, be early, be prepared, and then just try to lay low and stay out of the way, because sets are so busy. There's so much going on, and something is always going wrong. So it's very chaotic, and it's kind of stressful. So I think the more that you can just sort of be accommodating and be chill and in the corners, and when they need you, they're going to come and grab you, and it's whoosh, and you're in there. And then
and bring the energy. Don't freeze. Make sure that you walk in there with the level of excitement and just overall polish that they want to see.
Totally. And then, okay, so you did your segment, you knocked it out of the park, you did a great job. What are some of the best practices that you recommend for your clients so that they can keep the momentum going from that television appearance?
Definitely. Make sure you optimize it across your social. A lot of the national and local shows are trying to be more digital. So simple things like promoting it across your Instagram stories, sharing a link with your email database, posting it on your website. Show them that you value the opportunity to be on their show, and that you're doing your best to promote it as well. I can't tell you how many producers will say, like, I wish your client had Instagrammed, or I wish they had tagged us properly. Those things make a real difference, because that's what they're being judged on the back end. And then just be really strategic and thoughtful with your follow-up. Send a handwritten thank you note. A lot of these people are up before dawn. They're getting into work at 4 a.m. A simple thing like a coffee gift card and a handwritten thank you goes a really long way. And keep in touch. Make sure that you are on their radar, and that you're continuing to send them interesting ideas.
Totally. I mean, I would say for me, a handwritten thank you note goes a long way. And
you're the queen of handwritten thank yous, by the way.
Sides.
She's
like,
so good.
As a producer and as someone who is welcoming talent into the show, that goes so long, because it makes you feel valued, and it makes you feel like your time is valuable. And everybody, it doesn't matter what you do, you want to feel like your time is worth it. And I mean, God bless anyone who sent me a Starbucks card, because it's true. You are up at like 4 or 5 in the morning. You're usually working till 11 at night. Like, there's a lot of thankless qualities to the job. So anytime that you make anyone feel special, I think it goes a long way, and it helps them remember who you are. Yeah. So when they're looking, they need someone last minute, they're going to call you first. So we do actually have a question.
Ooh, I love a question.
As a small business owner building their brand, what's the best way to connect to the publicity department the sales department? I don't quite understand the question. Connect with
to connect with the PR department of the actual station that you're going to be on.
Oh, I think, yeah.
that would not be a correct content to pitch yourself for. The PR contact who's working on behalf of the show is focusing on promoting the show and promoting the show's ratings. They're not actually lining up talent to appear on the show. I would say you need to reach out to the booking producer, the person who arranges talent to come on the show. And if you're a product, again, reach out directly to those on-air experts, not the show directly. Those are the people that the producers are working with on a daily basis to curate content to present on air. So you want to get in front of those types of people.
Perfect. And then we do have another question. If you don't have a product that you're pushing, but you're a service, what kind of visuals can you bring to help support your service within the context of a segment?
It's a really great question. I would say the most basic way to do that would be to have high-res visuals of your service platform. So whether it's a landing page or I don't know what your service is, but a specific part of your site that speaks to what it is that you do, that's really great to roll in as B-roll. And then if there are any products that kind of relate to the service, you can also have those next to you on a small table display. Typically, if you're doing a seated one-to-one interview, you won't be given a table display, so the more visual imagery you can provide and B-roll assets, even if it's video of like the behind the scenes of how your service works, those are really strong assets to have.
And I would also say dressing the part is so key and so important.
Yeah,
so if
definitely.
you are a lawyer, you want to be more buttoned up and you want to come in looking more professional, and you need to present yourself in such a way that you're an expert in your field, and you need to dress in a way that says that you're an expert in your field. You know, I do production, I run a production company. It's an infinitely less formal environment. It would be weird if I was always in like a three-piece suit and like really, really buttoned up. So I try to wear things that are appropriate, make sense, but are also a little bit more on the casual side because it makes sense within the context of what I do for a living.
Especially if you're a service provider, I think, like if you're a dating service, let's say, you want to dress the way you would instruct your clients to dress so that you're really, as Amy said, kind of like the visual embodiment of what that message looks like, since it's you that's there giving or delivering the message.
Yep. All right. Is there anything else that you would like to add that we haven't touched on?
I think that's it.
Yeah, I feel like we did it. All right. Well, do you have anything that you want to have our viewers take a look at or follow you? Or?
Yes, follow me at Ashley Be Proud on Instagram. It'll give you a nice kind of window into my world. You can see what I'm doing and who my clients are. If you're looking for representation, please feel free to reach out and follow Paideia for more good stuff.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you guys for joining. It was so fun. And all right, we'll see you guys next week. All right, bye.